A common misconception is, private lenders, you hear about these loan to own type scenarios where lenders are trying to charge these high interest rates and foreclose on a property. I personally haven't seen that since I've been in the business, and I've been in the business about 12 years now. I think the vast majority of private lenders are truly trying to partner with their borrowers. If the borrower succeeds, the lender succeeds. They're trying to get them from point A to point B, help them do whatever they're going to do, and in that sense, they are very much partners with each other.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Matt Zonies, the CEO and founder of Bluestone Loans. He is a powerhouse in the lending space. Matt, it's awesome to have you here on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So let's get started and, jump on in. How did you get started in the lending space? What was that journey like?
Yeah, so my background was originally as a commercial finance and real estate attorney. So I was in private practice for about 8 years prior to starting Bluestone in 2017. And so during that time in private practice, did a lot of commercial real estate transactions, leasing, worked a lot with small business owners, and then also served as counsel to a family-owned private lending company. And they originated short-term business purpose loans, all secured by real estate, which is primarily what we do here. So I started working with them around 2013. And then in 2017, that company was sold. And at that point, I spun off and started Bluestone.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it can be a competitive industry for you. How do you stand out compared to other lenders?
Yeah, I think one of the things that differentiates us is that we are a balance sheet lender. We are lending our own capital. We're managing our own portfolio. So, a lot of the private lending space involves the capital markets. A lot of these lenders are selling off loans, and the borrowers are dealing with third-party servicers or third-party buyers post-closing. So it's nice that we're able to keep everything in-house, deal directly with the borrowers. We're doing all of our funding in-house, all of our credit approvals. We service all of our loans in-house. So it creates kind of a streamlined experience for the borrowers, and it helps us because we don't have that kind of outside noise involved in the business. But I think it makes it a better experience from the borrower standpoint too.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many things going on as an investor. One thing that you want to go in line is your lending. And with Bluestone loans, would you say that what are some of the challenges that you've had running your own business, and how have you overcome that to achieve your success today?
Yeah, when we started the business in 2017, and especially starting our own private credit fund on the lending side, we were a new fund manager, and that's always a challenge. There's a lot of investment options out there.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
On the capital raising side, some very big firms. So that was certainly a challenge for us getting into the private credit space. And then the fact that we're managing our own portfolio, we really have to put a lot of focus on managing risk. And we do that by looking at asset type and concentration limits and obviously underwriting each borrower and the project involved. But I think, you asked about overcoming it. I think focus is a big part of it, staying focused on what you're trying to do, making good loans, not stretching on loans that might not necessarily fit the box, but you want to book some more loans in any given month. So you got to be careful about that. But I think managing risk helps us to kind of grow steady and slowly, and then obviously serve those borrowers at the same time.
Absolutely. When it comes to managing that risk, are there certain tools or strategies that you use to make a calculated decision?
Yeah, so we have a couple research tools that we use, a couple different pieces of software for looking up, comparable properties if we're underwriting a piece of collateral. We use, servicing software, loan origination software. So it's definitely a tech-enabled type model, and we rely on that. But also, you need human eyes on this stuff too. So we can't entirely rely on the technology to underwrite these loans. So I think it's a combination of the tech that helps us do things more efficiently, but then we also have a great team here who underwrites and services and communicates with the borrowers and so I think a combination of those things, good people and good technology helps us do that.
For our listeners, um, many of them are sometimes building their own team, although it might be a different aspect of real estate. What kind of advice would you give to someone, building their team? How do you find someone that's a good fit?
I think people that are hungry and want to learn are probably, the best characteristic, even if there's not necessarily a ton of experience in the space or, a super relevant background. I think people who are eager and willing to learn, and specifically people who like to be part of a growing business and part of a small team, because we're small, you're not dealing with a kind of a big corporate like structure where everybody here has a very focused and narrow job description. Everybody's doing a little bit of everything. And so people who are willing to help out and maybe go outside of their comfort zone, and be part of the team and be part of the culture, that's probably a huge selling point. You really want that alignment of interests and making sure that everybody's working towards the same goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, when it comes to lending, what are some common misconceptions that you see that you want to set the record straight for our listeners today?
Yeah, so, private lending has definitely evolved over the past 10 to 15 years. It's grown into a sizable institutional asset class on the investment side. And obviously, the borrowers have benefited because credit becomes more widely available. If you're trying to buy a property and fix it up, um, you're going to have more options out there from lenders. I think a common misconception is, private lenders, you hear about these loan to own type scenarios where lenders are trying to charge these high interest rates and foreclose on a property. I personally haven't seen that since I've been in the business, and I've been in the business about 12 years now. I think the vast majority of private lenders are truly trying to partner with their borrowers. If the borrower succeeds, the lender succeeds, right? The borrower is able to complete a successful project, hopefully turn it into a profit, and the lender makes a successful loan.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Right. And so I think there's this maybe adversarial misconception between borrowers and lenders. And I think our borrowers are a little bit protective about that. But the truth is that lenders want their borrowers to succeed, right? They're trying to get them from point A to point B, help them do whatever they're going to do. And in that sense, they are very much partners with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of wanting to see these investors succeed, are you seeing any emerging trends in lending or private capital that they should be aware of right now?
I think the 1 to 4 family rehab space continues to grow. Obviously, there's a huge capital market for it. Billions and billions of dollars are originated in that space each year. Something that we focus on that I think is kind of an underserved gap in the market is the small balance commercial real estate sector. These are borrowers that would have historically gone to a community bank. They would have called up their local banker, asked for a $800,000 loan, and in a couple of weeks they would have had an approval. And so the number of community banks has shrunk significantly over the past 10 years or so. Not a lot of new banks are getting charters, and so that leaves a big gap in the market for private lenders to come in and fill that space. There's still a demand for credit. There's still a lot of small business owners, a lot of real estate investors looking for capital, looking for credit to help them acquire or rehab or get a bridge loan to buy them some time to market a property and sell it. And the traditional lenders, the community banks, aren't really in the space anymore. If you ask a banker, they'd probably rather do a $10 million loan than a $1 million loan. And so we do our best to fill that space and serve these borrowers that aren't really getting access to traditional capital in a way that they did maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to connecting with those business owners and investors, have there been networks that have been a game changer for your business and have helped with that?
Yeah, so, our business, probably 90% of our business comes from referral sources, and most of those are loan brokers. And so, in turn, those loan brokers usually get their business from banks. And so, in a way, we're helping these banks kind of maintain relationships with the borrowers. Obviously, we're not a depository institution. We're not taking deposits away from banks. So, banks, attorneys, CPAs, loan brokers, they're all great resources for us, given the fact that we are originating short-term loans. Um, these borrowers are looking to refinance with a traditional lender at the end of our loan term. And so if a bank can refer us business in the form of a borrower, and we can take that borrower and help them acquire a property, and usually these are time sensitive transactions. So, a typical borrower for us, they might be a bank borrower. They usually are a bank borrower, except they have to close on an acquisition in a couple weeks, maybe 2, 3 weeks. Now, as good as a bank might be, they probably can't close that transaction in 2 weeks. And so, we serve as kind of a bridge, and we'll help that borrower acquire the property. And then in 6, 9, or 12 months, they return to their banking relationship and they refinance into something more permanent. So, banks are a great resource. Loan brokers are a great resource. And really anybody who touches a real estate transaction, realtors, brokers, title companies, appraisers, environmental firms, anybody who's involved in one of those.
Matt, Bluestone Loans has, helped with a lot of deals. Can you walk us through one of the most memorable ones that you've done and what made it stand out for you and your clients?
Yeah, so we've done about 150 loans since inception. I think one of the ones that we did recently that stood out was we helped somebody acquire a food specialization warehouse, and we're based in New Jersey, so this was a deal that was also based kind of in our backyard. So
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
it was something that was nice because it helped the community. I mean, this was a company that was helping distribute food to the local community down in this area. Um, it was a property that was being underutilized at the moment, and so, or prior to us kind of helping the borrower make the acquisition. So that was nice to see that we were able to, provide financing for a property that was ultimately going to produce jobs, help feed the community, and obviously, take an asset that was otherwise not really being used and turn it into something that hopefully will move forward and be successful over the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, were there, any lessons learned from that deal that you've applied to your business going forward?
I think that deal was a typical transaction in terms of the underwriting and the borrower. I think the situation and the where it was from a geography standpoint kind of stood out to us. Something that we've learned from, it's funny. I think you learn more from harder deals than you do from easier deals, right? That's where kind of your lessons are learned when something goes wrong. And we've certainly had those, right? Like any other lender. We have loans that go into default. We have some borrowers that are less than cooperative with us. I think it goes back to the transparency. And I tell borrowers this right from the beginning. The more you communicate to us, and the more transparent you are with us, the easier we're going to be to work with. And so I really stress that from the beginning. Oftentimes you have borrowers that start off on a project and it's not going as planned, and they're afraid to communicate, whether they're embarrassed or they're not sure what's going to happen. They might not return your phone calls or emails. And so that's super important to us because if you communicate, and I think this is true for any lender, a borrower relationship. If you communicate with your lender and you're updating them and you're fully transparent on what's going on, it's going to it's going to increase the probability of that transaction being successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, let's dive deeper into your expertise here. With interest rates and market conditions constantly shifting, how do you stay competitive in providing solutions for real estate investors?
Yeah, so that's kind of more on the fund side. So, we on the fund side, our goal is to reduce our cost of capital. And so while we're lending to borrowers, we obviously have our own creditors and our own investors. And so lowering our cost of capital is vital to being competitive in the market from a lender's standpoint. And so, with interest rates where they are, we're hopefully expecting a cut next month. We'll see, but all signs point to that being true. We'll do our best to pass those cost savings on to borrowers. So as our cost of borrowing goes down, we try to pass that on to the borrower and stay competitive within the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you guys are looking to grow and scale, which is exciting. What are your plans going forward, and how do you plan on getting there?
So part of our expansion plans really focus on our product offerings. Right now, our core product is our bridge product. So it's a 12-month interest-only bridge product, and it serves as kind of a getting a borrower in a better position, whether it's a timely transaction or maybe they're waiting on tax returns to come in and they can't go to a bank. We're trying to solve some type of problem for the borrower. We've seen an increasing need for longer term financing, kind of more like bank financing, 5, 7, 10-year terms. So we've been working on launching that product. We hope to do that later this year. And so that gives our borrowers, another way to work with us. And so we're not just kind of a one or two product organization. We're able to kind of offer a breadth of products to those borrowers and then continue to scale the business. We've never been kind of and I think this is true in general for this space, especially if you're managing capital. The idea is not to grow as fast as possible. It's kind of slow, steady, measured growth, and I think we'll continue to do that. Stay disciplined, stay focused on what we're trying to do, and just continue to grow the business over the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah. Well, Matt, it's been incredible hearing about your journey and strategies in the lending space. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like our audience to know about your business?
Yeah, so I think we covered most of it. Bluestone's a private credit fund manager. We started it in 2017. We focus on investing in small balance commercial real estate loans. So our loans go anywhere from 250,000 up to 4.5 million. I think we are unique in that we are a balance sheet lender. So we do have discretionary capital. We are holding these loans on our balance sheet. We're a direct lender. I think that's kind of becomes more and more rare these days. Um, yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to kind of the continued growth and seeing how the market evolves, especially within this private real estate credit space over the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And for our listeners who want to connect with you and maybe they need a loan, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find our website at www.bluestonelearns.com. We're on Instagram at Bluestone Commercial Capital. And obviously, you can find our email addresses and phone numbers on the website.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us and sharing your insights.
Thanks, Erica. It was fun.
And for our listeners, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pros Show. We've got more pros like Matt who are out there building incredible real estate businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.